Hey everybody, it's Greg again. It's another edition of Unbreakable, the podcast. It is November the 13th, Thursday. And so we're going to talk about the Phillies. Today we're going to talk about the Eagles, a lot of Eagles. We're going to talk about pennies. We're going to talk all kinds of crap. So thanks for joining me. Uh, let's start with the Eagles, right? Eagles played the Lions Sunday night. Well, first of all, the Eagles, 10-7, they beat the Packers Monday night. Okay. A win is a win is a win. But, it didn't look too good. Just didn't look too good. The offense still is bogged down. Uh, I don't have much faith in this offensive coordinator. I'm sorry. It looked like he was coming around, but this team, they just have too much talent. You got Jalen Hurts, and you got Barkley, and you got Goddard, and Smith, and Brown, and there's so many weapons, and yet they're only scoring like 10 points. I mean, come on, something's not right. I know the offensive line hasn't been as good as it's been. Guys are hurt, guys are getting old, but I don't know. I don't see much creativity on the offense. And I really think it comes down to this new offensive coordinator. Just don't think he's that good. So we'll see what happens Sunday. They play the Lions. The Lions come in Sunday night, smelling themselves or full of themselves. I like the Lions. I think the Lions are actually going to take the NFC North. Forget about the Packers. We saw the Packers. They have nothing. They don't have any weapons. And Minnesota, yeah, JJ McCarthy, really, and the Bears aren't ready for prime time. The Lions are going to take that division, especially if they beat the Packers on Thanksgiving Day. Do you remember Thanksgiving in the past? You used to watch the early game. Lions always host the early game, and the Lions used to suck. You would just put that game on just to have something to listen to while you're having Thanksgiving dinner or you're getting dinner ready, taking the turkey out of the oven, basting it, or whatever the hell you do. So, but now the Lions are actually good. So it's a game you would rather watch than the late game. The late game sucks. It's like the Cowboys. They suck. Who wants to watch the Cowboys? So anyway, the Lions, if they beat the Packers on Thanksgiving, I would think they pretty much have the NFC North sewn up. But we'll see. First things first, Eagles Lions on Sunday. Well, first of all, let's address the elephant in the room, so to speak. AJ Brown. Well, AJ Brown is bitching and complaining again, like he always does. Uh, AJ Brown not getting the ball enough, blah, blah, blah. Of course, it's true. The Eagles only targeted him 3 times last Monday night against the Packers. And I've been saying this for years. If you've been watching me for years, thank God you must be a glutton for punishment. I don't. Anyway, if you haven't listened to me, you know that I'm an AJ Brown fan, and I think the Eagles underuse him. I think they should be targeting him like between 10 and 15 times a game. They should be using this guy like the Bengals use Jamar Chase, or like the Vikings use Justin Jefferson. I know the Eagles have a lot of weapons, and you can't cut the football up and here, Dallas Goddard, you get this little piece, and here, Saquon Barkley, you get this little piece, and the tip of the ball, that's for you, Devontae Smith. I know you can't do that. You can't do that. But when you have a talent like AJ Brown, who's big and strong and fast, you use them. And the Eagles spent a first round draft pick to get this guy. Actually, two. They swapped their own, and they gave an extra pick to the Tennessee Titans. So AJ Brown use him. You're paying him a lot of money. Use him. I can never understand, even before this offensive coordinator, the new guy, came on board. Why don't you use AJ Brown more? What the hell? Use him. If he catches 10 passes a game, he does. That's great. The object is to win, isn't it? Anyway, so I don't blame him for being frustrated that I don't blame the guy. I don't blame the guy. But you know what happens? Every time AJ Brown complains, the next week he gets the ball. So you watch. You watch. First play, Sunday night, Hurts, slant pattern, AJ Brown. Or maybe trying to bomb to AJ, something to AJ Brown. Keep him happy, because that's the way you do it. You feed him early in the game, you keep him happy. Then he's not on the bench reading books or whatever the hell it is. So I would say, AJ Brown is going to get at least 6 catches Sunday night. 80 to 100 yards receiving, maybe more, because that's the way it is when the squeaky wheel gets the grease, as they say. So I would say, if I took prop now for Sunday, I would say AJ Brown over in his yards, because he's going to get the ball. We know that. Anyway, so what will happen to him after the season's over? I don't know. Eagles try to trade him. I mean, yeah, they probably will, because he is annoying and they don't need that on the team, I guess. But I'd hate to see him go. I really would hate to see him go to another team like they wouldn't trade him within the division to the Cowboys or some damn thing like that. I think, let's say they trade him to the Steelers, and the next time the Eagles play Pittsburgh, AJ Brown comes back and haunts the Eagles, catches 3 touchdown passes, something crazy like that. I hate to let him go, because he's a I don't know if I'd call him a superstar, but he's a really good player. My. Anyway, we got bigger fish to fry than AJ friggin' Brown. We got to play the Lions on Sunday, and they're good. And you got shut down Jamar Gibbs, the running back. Montgomery is a little bowling ball running back near the goal line. Their receivers are great. St. Brown, Williams, Laporte is the tight end. Jared Goff, or whatever the hell his name is. The thing is with the Lions, you get them outside, like they will be Sunday night, where it's cold and windy. They don't play as well, because they're used to playing in the dome. And don't forget, NFC North, the Vikings play in the dome. The Lions are used to playing indoors, where the conditions are controlled. The perfect temperature, everything's perfect. Well, it ain't going to be that perfect Sunday night. I mean, from what they're saying, the temperature's supposed to drop, maybe a gusty wind out there. And it's November, and it's nighttime. Jared Goff is not going to be as good. That's what I would say. And the Lions are susceptible to running quarterbacks. So Jalen Hurts should have a good game. He hasn't been running as much. I don't know what it is. He hasn't been running as much, but I think Sunday night he's going to take off. He's going to run. He didn't have such a good game Monday night in Green Bay. I think he's going to have a good game Sunday. I really, really do. I said that last week. I know. But I think so I think he's going to run. if he gets the chance to throw the ball, he's going to do it because the Lions do have a patchwork secondary. So you could throw them. So here again, A.J. Brown. Of course, you got your Devontae Smith, and then you got your Dallas Goedert in the middle. So I think the Eagles are going to have a lot of success. Have a lot of sacks. What the hell did I say? The Eagles are. Well, the Eagles have a lot of sacks. I don't know. Well, anyway, that's not my business. That's their personal. Eagles are going to win on Sunday. Now, I would think, here's the thing. It may be a high-scoring game because these are two high-scoring offenses. Keep in mind, Dan Campbell, the coach of Detroit, how do you say it? Detroit? Whatever. He likes to go for it on fourth down a lot. You're not going to see many punts from the Lions. You're not going to see many field goals from the Lions because if it's fourth down and if it's within a few yards, he's going to go for it. And that's kind of the way Nick Sirianni is with the Eagles, too. So, not going to see many points. I don't think you're going to see many field goals either, unless it's absolutely necessary. I would look on field goals over under. If it's like 3, I would go under because these teams know you're going to have to score touchdowns Sunday night to win the freaking game. So, I don't know, Eagles 31, Lions 28, maybe hat. I think it's going to be a close game. You can't say the Eagles are going to like run away with them and beat the hell out of them because the Lions are good. And even if the Lions get behind, they have the weapons to catch up. And don't forget, our secondary has to keep up with St. Brown and Williams, who's a speedster. Oh, and that's the thing. We got to get pressure on Jared Goff. We have to get pressure on Jared Goff. Make it tough for him to throw the ball because even though the Lion receivers may be open, if Goff doesn't have time to throw the ball, what good is it, right? He's really, really good against the blitz. Really good. So I wouldn't blitz. I would hang out, lay back, try to cover those receivers. The front four has to get to them. They have to. They can't let them sit back there and pick the secondary apart. Got to get some pressure on Jared Goff and make him have, what do you call it, dancing feet. Yeah, he's throwing the ball around. So, put some pressure on him and see what happens, right? Anyway, hey, I gotta tell you this. It kind of makes me sad. They struck the last penny yesterday. Why would they strike it? What did the penny ever do to you? Get it? Strike. The Philadelphia Mint, of all places, the Philadelphia freaking Mint, struck the last penny yesterday because they're not making them, going to make them anymore because it costs 4 cents to make a 1 cent penny. So you're losing money, right? So they said, well, we don't need the penny anymore. Goodbye, penny. Goodbye. So, I'm going to miss that because, when I was a kid, maybe you too, you collected pennies in a big jar, big like a pig or a piggy bank or a big container, milk carton or something. You fill that up, and you would take it into the bank and roll your pennies up, because they don't like you going into the bank or the supermarket or wherever with a big jar and you just dump everything on the counter. No. You don't do that. You had to roll them up in the paper rollers. That used to be a pain in the ass. I could never do that. Along with wrapping gifts, I'm bad at that. Blowing up balloons, I'm really bad at that. And wrapping pennies or any kind of coins, I suck doing it. I suck. So anyway, yeah, so everybody did that. I used to collect pennies. What I wouldn't give to have those jars back, I tell you, because pennies are going to become not right away because there's like billions of pennies circulating right now, but in time, pennies are going to be scarce. So you may want to put several aside for your grandchildren, because when your grandchildren get old enough, pennies you may not be able to find them. My uncle Henry used to collect pennies, but he would collect specific kinds of pennies. They used to make a penny, instead of having the Lincoln Memorial on the back, they would call them wheat pennies. They would have wheat stalks, and it would say 1 cent across the coin, just in case you forgot what you were spending there. 1 cent. And they used to be kind of rare because they were all over the place, and then they were taken out of circulation, and you had the Lincoln Memorial on the back. And now you can hardly find the wheat pennies around. That's what the pennies are going to be like now. Well, anyway, my uncle used to collect them. He used to have a whole jar, mug, or whatever you call it, of wheat pennies. Can you imagine that? Oh my God, what that would be worth today. Whew. Anyway, I guess they'll just start rounding everything up. No more 1999 stuff. You're going to have to, everything at the grocery store or at the supermarket or at the Macy's or Pennies, it's going to be $14. That's it, flat. Because that's probably the way we're going. You know, they said to make a nickel now, 5-cent nickel, it costs 14 cents. So I bet you before you know it, they're going to cut out all these little coins. And the only thing we're going to have is like quarters, $half, you know. Everything else is going to be paper money. That's the way it's going. So anyway, so appreciate the penny watching. And the penny, you remember the song? Every time it rains, pennies from heaven. Da, 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 da. Well, you can't sing that. How can you say every time it rains, dollars from heaven, dollars from... I guess you could, but yeah, it's not to see. Anyway, so bye-bye pennies. You know, I don't know if you've ever been to Philadelphia, but Franklin Mint is very close to the place where Benjamin Franklin is buried. And people leave pennies on his tombstone, on his flat thing there, whatever, grave marker. Because, you know, Franklin was the guy who came up with the saying, a penny saved is a penny earned. And so, you know, you wonder, is Ben Franklin rolling in his grave right now, knowing that the penny is going out of business after 237 years? Really? You know, I said, I would love to have the very last penny that they struck yesterday. Can you imagine that? But apparently, all the pennies that they struck yesterday are not going into circulation. They are going to be auctioned off, I guess, for a good cause or something. I don't know. But I'd love to have the last penny ever pressed in it. Hey, what else is going on today? What else is going on today? Yeah. Oh, well, you know, the Phillies, I'm all geared up in Phillies. I'll be changing over my Eagle stuff before the weekend. And you're not hearing anything about the Phillies or baseball. It's just a lot of rumors. Why? Because teams make qualifying offers to their free agents. And you know, the free agents have until the 18th, which is next Tuesday, to respond. So, of course, the Phillies made a qualifying offer to Schwarber, Realmuto, Ranger, all those guys, so that they can either accept that, come back for 1 year, or say, no, I don't think so, and enter free agency, and they get a lot more money. So I think after Tuesday, we're going to see some action. And don't forget, the winter meetings are coming up early in December. That's where a lot of your trades are made in baseball. A lot of your free agent signings are made that week. And that's the week a lot of action occurs. So, we're just gonna have to hold our horses until that happens. I don't know. I still think Kyle Schwarber's coming back because he's a fan favorite. He's a leader in the clubhouse. How are the Phillies going to duplicate 56 home runs and 130 RBIs? I mean, it's not, you can't just pick it out of a damn tree, right? So I think he's coming back. I really do. Ranger, nah, I don't think so. I think Rangers, bye-bye. I hate to see him go. Hopefully he doesn't go to the stinking rotten Mets. I'd hate to see that a couple times a year, having Ranger face us. I still think he's a good pitcher. Miyamoto, yeah, I guess they'll bring him back. But, because it's pathetic. They have nothing else in the farm system. And I guess they don't trust Rafael Marchand to take the starting catcher role. I guess not, because they're not talking about him. Me, okay, I'll bring JT back for 2 or 3 years. He's still good. But if I had my druthers, I'd trade for Adley Rutschman of the Baltimore Orioles, because Baltimore already has a star young catcher coming up. And what do they need with Rutschman? He seems to have fallen out of favor in Oriole land. So I would try to get him. He's still a good young player, switch hitter. I would like Rutschman on the team. I really would. So we'll see what happens. Harrison Bader, I'd love to have him back. He brought a lot of energy and spark to the club, but I don't know. I think he's probably going to get more money elsewhere. Plus, we're hearing Dave Dombrowski. We don't see him, but we hear rumors that he made it known that he wants Justin Crawford, the young outfielder, to be on this team come springtime. And really, Justin Crawford's natural position is center field. You could try with left field, but then what are you going to do with Brandon friggin' Marsh, right? Trade his ass? I guess. Hey, Nick Castellanos. Goodbye, Nick. Dombrowski already said he had a talk with him, and he kind of laid out a little hit there, saying, well, a change of scenery could be good for people. I'm not saying hint, a change of scenery. Well, in other words, just kick him in the ass and say to Nick Castellanos, start packing your bags, buddy. You're out of here. I think that's what I'm doing. So anyway, my point is that we haven't heard much since the World Series, but pretty soon the hot stove is going to start cooking there in baseball land. So we'll see. The things that's in the news now is this gambling shit. These 2 Cleveland Guardian Indian pitchers got caught placing bets and throwing the pitches that weren't good. Oh my God, it's disgusting. Get those guys out of the game. I don't know how you control it. It's like every sport. Prop sports, prop bets are the worst, because even football, you could say, oh, Saquon Barkley is going to rush for over 60 yards Sunday night. Well, I'm not saying he does, but what if a guy has a bet that, I'm not going to get 60 yards. I'm going out of the game in the first quarter because I hurt my freaking ankle. Huh? I mean, when you have prop bets like that on players, it can be manipulated. Better to play the team that, like, Eagles win, Eagles total points over 23, whatever. When you play individuals, there's always a chance in any sport, basketball too, that there may be a little hanky-panky going on, a little monkey business, as said. So I don't know how they control it other than getting rid of the prop bets, because and it's even creeping into, or has already, into college. You get these young kids, and a gambler says, "Hey kid, I'll give you $20,000 if you don't shoot a three to them." Blah blah blah. And the kid takes 20,000 and he sucks on the court, right? So for 1 fee. It can happen, and it has happened. And unfortunately, in the world we live in, with gambling all around us and very easy access on your phone, on your computer, it's going to happen more. The temptation's going to be there. So my point is that it's very hard to control, very hard to regulate. You just gotta have to do the best you can. But that's really baseball's main focus right now, if you want to say, is all this gambling shit, so I don't. Anyway, what else before we leave here? Oh yes, it's National Kindness Day. Everybody be kind to each other. Yeah, do I have to tell you this? Do I have to tell you this? I know right now I'm not being kind to you, but I try to be kind to everybody every day, every single moment of the day. Every single moment of the day, I'm kind. I'm kind to the dogs. I'm kind to Polly. I'm kind to friends. I'm kind to God. I'm kind to myself. It's important to be kind to yourself too. Hey, if you want that extra cookie in the morning, take the extra cookie. Be kind to yourself. Be good to yourself. But seriously, it is Kindness Day. And, it's so much crap going on in the world. There's so much negativity and ugliness going on. Be kind to one another. Hey, you're not paying anything. What are you, like paying $10 to give out a compliment? No. Be kind to your fellow man and woman and dog. That's all I'm saying. Be kind. Be kind. Damn it. Anyway, and that's true. That includes yourself too. Be good to yourself. My final word is, my book is out, Stronger Than Bone. Stronger Than Bone. And I'd love for you to pick up a copy. It's only digital right now. So you'll be able to get it on your phone, your tablet. I have it on my tablet. I've Kindle on my tablet, so I can read all kinds of books. And it looks good on there. It looks good. I had a copy myself, but I didn't really get a copy of the book until just the other day. And it looks good on there. The pictures, the format, 266 pages. And then there's a little link at the end where you click on the link. You could hear me do you're not sick enough of me, right? You could hear me do a little talk that I did with the University of Pennsylvania students, medical genetics class, last April. So it's like a half an hour little spiel about osteogenesis imperfecta. So I think it's a good story. It's especially for someone, if you know somebody, if you're going through a challenge, and everybody does at one time or another, right? You're going through a challenge in life, you have a family member or a friend going through a challenge, this is the perfect thing to give them. Even for Christmas, it's great stocking stuff. And it costs like $5. I mean, what the hell? You don't have to tell them how much you paid. You could say, this book costs $49. I spared no expense for you for Christmas. Not really. It's like $5.99. And someone who needs a little pickup, a little uplifting them, a little cheering up, a little inspiration. You give them a book, they read the book, hopefully they feel better. And they kind of have a roadmap how to get over that challenge, you know? So consider, consider. You can find it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, wherever fine books or something. But and soon it's going to be in audio. That's the new news. It's going to be an audio book. Now I'm not doing it because I hate my voice, as you can hear it. It's very high, squeaky. You don't want to hear me you're in your car and listening to the book and you're driving along, and all of a sudden you hear, my baby here. I was a little boy, and I was a little. You don't want to hear that. You want to hear a guy who sounds like Walter Cronkite. No, look, it's James Earl Jones or Morgan Freeman with that deep voice. Oh, I was 7 years old when the first time the first time I smoked weed. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, they're actually getting people in to audition this week to be narrators, to read the freaking. And so I'm going to be interested to see who are they going to get. It better be somebody who sounds better than I do, which is just about anybody. I hate it. I'll tell you something before I go. When my friend Steve Trevelise is on the overnight shift on WIP, he's not on every week now. I don't know what their problem is. I think he is going to be on this Saturday night, this weekend. Look for Steve on there. I tried to call in. I've been calling in for years and years and years. And he and I are good friends, and we talk Beatles, we talk sports, we just talk. And but my voice is weird. And when I get on there, the next caller will say, well, I agree with that lady who was just on before. And Steve will say, what lady? They said, the lady who was just on before, who was talking about the Beatles. That's no lady, that's right. More than once, I've called that radio station and people thought I was a woman. All right. It's not exactly a macho thing to say, and I'm not, kind of embarrassed about it. So that's why I'm not doing the narrative of my book, because you got to be in a studio. Because if I'm reading the book here, blah, 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 and the dogs are barking in the background, or there's music playing like there is now, because Katie's across the hall. This is the mellow classics of the 70s. You don't want that in the background as you read the book. So I have to go to the studio. I hate my voice anyway. I said, no, thank you. No, thank you. Get Morgan Freeman. I'm sure he'll know. Yeah, right. So anyway, that'll be coming out in the future, the audio version. So please consider, and it's a good stocking stuffer. You surprise somebody, and on Christmas Day, it shows up in their phone, it shows up on their tablet or on the PC. Merry Christmas. It's the story Stronger Than Bone. It wasn't cheap. It wasn't cheap. But for you, I spared no expense, Grandma. Spared no expense. I paid $188 for the speaking book. I hope you read. So anyway, so that's a lot of fun. All right. I gotta go. I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back either tomorrow or Saturday. We'll talk Eagles. We'll get nitty gritty, and we'll get down to it. We'll talk about the Lions. Those freaking Lions on Sunday. That, and it's going to be a wild scene at the Lincoln Financial Field Sunday night. I'll be in my furry pajamas, just nestled, covered up in bed, watching the game. I'm like, it's too cold. All right, everybody. Take care, peace and love. Have a great day. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye bye. Be kind. Be kind to people, Tim. Okay? Okay. Bye bye. Arrivederci, people. Arrivederci, mobile.